How to survive middle school. If you're in middle school and you're just struggling right now, this is for you. I remember 7th grade in particular being one of the hardest years of my life. I don't know why. I can't give you the details. I think that was kind of when I was maybe changing friend groups. Yes, I had a friend that was like really close to me in 5th grade and 6th grade, and then all of a sudden she didn't really want to be my friend. That kind of like changes up your world when all of a sudden you lose a friend. And I felt like I was closer to some of the 8th graders. And I just didn't really have very many friends in my own grade. The schoolwork was so hard. I remember in particular like a grammar class being really difficult. It was just rough, and I really wish I had a video like this to look back to and just find some encouragement. So that's what this video is all about. I want to just give you some tips, things I wish I knew, and just like a little survival guide type of deal. Tip number 1, the popular group is seriously overrated. You do not need to break your back to be in the popular group, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna care if you are popular or not. A few years from now, you're not even gonna really remember half the people you were friends with if all your friendships were super like superficial and not real. If you are basing your friendships off of status, you're never gonna have true meaningful friendships. You might be stuck in friendships that are actually kind of toxic. Girls that are going to treat you really negatively and make fun of you and give you a lot of crap to have to deal with, honestly. So don't ever break your back to try to fit into a group just to say you are in a particular group. I know things like the popular group and all of that. I know that sounds appealing because the people that are usually in that group seem to have like an easier life from the outside looking in, but I promise you they don't. They struggle just like you. They don't have confidence as you might think. They also deal with same family issues that you deal with. Their life isn't perfect, and becoming popular isn't gonna make your life perfect either. So don't worry about your status, just be friends with people that are going to actually like you for you. Another advice I want to give you is I want you to know that you're not alone in your struggles, more particularly in your family struggles. I know like nowadays families are really broken apart, and it's so sad because usually the kids are having to face the consequences of that family dynamic. So you might have parents who are divorced, and you might have to end up living with your mom one week and your dad next week, and they might fight a lot. And I know that's hard. I myself have divorced parents, been through it, and it sucks. So I don't want you to feel like you're alone in that, because a lot of people go through it. But I also don't want you to think just because a lot of people go through it, it doesn't mean that it isn't hard for you. So one of my biggest recommendations would be, if you find yourself struggling with the way your parents interact with one another, and if it's like really starting to affect you, definitely talk to someone about it. A trusted adult, maybe even your own parents. Sometimes parents kind of forget that kids are there watching. We see our parents arguing and fighting, but they forget that we're there watching it and that it's actually like bothering us. So don't be afraid to just say, hey, like, Mom, is it okay if you can not talk about dad in front of me, because I want to have a relationship with my dad and not have to listen to you complain about him all the time, or vice versa. You can also talk to a school counselor. Don't feel like you're betraying your family or anything. When you do that, it's okay. Like, a school counselor is there to listen to your struggles, and they're there to help you through them. So if it gets to the point where you just need to talk to somebody and your parents don't want to hear it, I'd really recommend going to a counselor and talking to them, and so that they can give you some actionable steps that you can take, so that the family dynamics don't start affecting you in a negative way. Okay, let's talk about school. One of the most important things I can tell you when it comes to school is just do your best. And if your best is a C, then be it. And if it's an A, then awesome. But don't ever think you're dumb or not smart enough or good enough just because you have trouble with school. School was something that came so hard for me. I had to try really hard in school because one, English wasn't my first language because I was adopted from Ethiopia when I was 9, and two, I'm not very good at memorizing things. I like to read, but I'm not a very fast reader. My reading comprehension wasn't always the greatest. It took me having to read something about 3 times or so before I really comprehended what was going on till this day. I've been speaking English for 11 years now, and I still have trouble with that. And I used to really beat myself up and think that I just wasn't smart. And I'm realizing that in college that there is so much more to intelligence than being able to take a test and get a good grade on it. You don't need to get good grade to be successful in life. People actually really value your work ethic, your ability to get along with people, your ability to work as a team with others, and just your ability to show up to work and get things done. And you don't have to get good grades to do any of those things I just mentioned. So don't tie your worth and your value in a grade letter. Another tip I have for you when it comes to schoolwork is really do your best to stay organized and turn your homework in on time. I know usually when you get to middle school, that's when you'll get lockers, and in that situation, I really recommend you to keep your locker clean. I know it's going to be tempting to just shove all your papers and shut the locker and go home. But soon, if you keep doing that, you're going to lose track of all your assignments, and it's going to be hard to know what goes to what class and all of that. So I recommend you having a notebook for each separate class and a folder for each separate class, so you can take notes and put all your papers in a place where you'll always know where they're at. Also, get your homework in on time. You don't want to get in a habit of turning in your homework late, because if you start forming those habits now, when you go out into the real world and you decide to show up late to work, you're gonna get fired because the real world is not going to treat you as nicely as the teachers. I know teachers will be like, okay, well, you can turn in late. Well, in the real world, it just doesn't work like that. They will fire you if you show up late to work. So I know it's not that deep right now. It's just a homework assignment, but the habits you build now are going to really greatly impact you later on in the future. So start building good habits now. Another tip I have for you is surround yourself with good, like-minded people. I've heard a quote that says, the friends that you spend the most time with are those who will greatly impact you. So if you are surrounded with a bunch of friends that are very dramatic and rude and mean, you're most likely gonna become dramatic, rude, and mean. That's just the reality. It's hard to be different from the crowd that you hang out with. So if you want to attract good friends, good people, then you yourself need to become a good friend and a decent human being. Just be kind to people, and soon you'll be able to attract those same type of people and bring them into a friendship with you. So surround yourself with good people. Be the friend that you wish you had. That is about all for now. I can go on and on and on with these tips. So if you want to see more videos like this, comment down below and let me know. Also, I have done a lot of middle school related YouTube videos in the past, so check that out if you want to. I also post a lot about this kind of stuff over on my Instagram and TikTok, so go follow me over there. I hope you survive middle school. Know that everything will get better, I promise you. Things might seem really hard right now, but it gets better. And as you get older, you'll be able to look back to these moments and realize that you have grown into a much better and stronger person because of the difficulties that you've gone through back in middle school and other stages of life. So you got this, keep pushing, and I'm very, 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 very proud of you. That's all I got for you today, and until next time, bye.